Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Formula G GeoGuessr. We are here in week 2 in France. I am Zotomo, and I'm joined as always by Calamity. How are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. We have a very different kind of map than last week, for sure, in terms of the scores as well as the points awarded for things, given the nature of the French map with its overseas territories to make things interesting.
I'm just gonna pretend it didn't just take me 15 seconds to remember what the map in round 1 was. Yeah, with Spain.
Yeah, in Spain compared to that. That was a test. Australia was
Oh
week
yeah,
1.
right. So it took me 15 seconds and I couldn't even remember what it was.
There you go. Been a busy week for sure. No worries, no worries. Okay, so we're gonna do our video this week like we did last time. We have 5 competitors, and we're gonna show you one round from each of them to kind of give you a taste of the competition and the locations that they had to compete on. But we'll also give you everybody whose video we have, their times and scores for each round, even if you don't see their video. So we'll keep you up to date on everything as we go through. So, with that, let's just get underway here. We've got M. Wickholm in round 1. So,
As you can see from the start, they are very distinct landscape and also quite a lot of signs.
yeah, at a road junction with city names as well as road numbers to get us started.
Yeah, some of those cities you should probably recognize as a seasoned GeoGuessr player. Ajaccio being probably the most recognizable one.
Yeah, and even if you don't, with the 5-minute time limit, you should notice that this terrain does not look like anything on continental France, and that you are somewhere besides that. And then it just is a matter of looking at the numbers and figuring out what intersection you're at exactly. So
it's also just very nice that you have 2 different road numbers here, so that makes pinpointing even easier than if you only had one.
Yeah, there we go. We could already see that only a minute into the round, and Wickholm has pretty much got it. Spend a few more seconds double checking to make sure he gets it, and sure enough, he will get that 5K, 12 meters off, and only a minute and 4 seconds for him. Everybody else in that round 5K as well. M the Baseman at 1 minute 17 seconds. Mr. Blue 1 minute 12. Calamity, you had it in 50 seconds, and Tall Impala 1 minute and 8. So pretty much that 1 minute mark was the standard by which to measure everybody.
Yeah, it was pretty much just realizing, okay, we're in Corsica. Okay, Ajaccio is that way. That means we're somewhere north of it, the D81, and follow that until you find the D424.
And a very interesting intersection as well that stands out quite easily. It's not just a T. That weird kind of U-shape intersection is pretty obvious as well. So.
That probably saves a couple of seconds to, reassure yourself that this is definitely the one.
Yeah, indeed. Okay, well, in round 2, we have M the Baseman. If I switch screens and not just hit play.
That would help.
There we go. So a rural location, but again, village exit sign with a road number, D133. Pretty easy start.
Definitely mainland France this time.
Yeah. This is what France looks like.
I mean, you can't say the other one is not what France looks like, because that's also France, but I know what you mean.
It's not mainland France. Yeah, and a bridge close by is going to make pinpointing pretty easy as well.
Let's see. This is actually interesting for me because I went the other direction, so I don't know what is on this side.
Nothing on that side of this. Yeah.
Not very readable.
He'll jump back to the beginning and go over the path again.
Okay.
Go the other direction into town.
So nothing is on that side.
Yeah. I think all the good information is this way because you have some big city names as well as an intersection that you need.
Right to the north.
There's a lot of comments on the Reddit about how the architecture of France. Oh, there he goes. He's got the city. Nevers? Something like that.
Nevers.
N7.
Yeah. At least I think so. There's a couple French cities that are pronounced differently than you would normally pronounce French words. Like the city of Lens in the northeast apparently pronounces the S at the end when it really shouldn't. But well, who am I to say?
Yeah. French words in English are always the fun one to try to get people to pronounce. But,
basically any foreign language.
yeah. But yeah, already 2 minutes into the round though. He's gonna double check, make sure he doesn't lose any points. He did get hit with that last week, dropping some points by being a little bit too fast, so maybe he's gonna be a bit more cautious this week in France, but he will pick up that 5K if he doesn't go too fast.
It's gotta go fast. There's bonus points on the line.
Yeah, there we go. I meant just clicking between this screen. That's what I wanted. Yeah. So everybody again, except M. Wickham, got 5K. M. Wickham with 4,987. He did use the full 5 minutes, but was unable to pinpoint. Pretty difficult though. Mr. Blue as well, 4 minutes 29 seconds, just like M. the Baseman's 4 minutes 45.
You're looking at the wrong round here. The times you're saying are from round 3.
Okay, see if I can read properly. Everybody got 5K, even M. Wickham. There we go. 2 minutes and a half seems about the standard. Calamity, M. Wickham, and M. the Baseman getting around that time. Mr. Blue using 4 minutes and 2 seconds, but still getting that 5K. And of course, our Frenchman, Tal Impala, 51 seconds. Probably knew where that was. IRL, so to speak.
I assume that Mr. Blue just went west and stuck with it, so he didn't find much for a while.
Yeah.
And yeah, Tal Impala probably just knew all the cities. I mean, not Mr. Blue, M. the Baseman knew Nevers as well. So once he found the information, he was pretty quick too.
Yeah, okay. Well, into round number 3.
Starting in unofficial coverage.
Official coverage. And for some reason, this says round 2 on his timer plugin, but
yeah, just ignore the timer. I don't know what happened to that.
Something weird happened here, but okay. This is round 3. This is their correct location.
Yeah.
This location threw people off a little bit, Calamity, because this was the one that started in unofficial coverage, correct?
Yep,
I don't know
if it did.
Yeah, if L49 showed that to us, but
yeah, he did. But you can get out of it very quickly. Yeah, as you can maybe saw in the background, he found a sign for the Département du Rhône, and knew where it is. Probably, like, just from the sound of it, it sounds like one of the more famous départements. Not that I would know where it is, but so a Frenchman probably would.
What is that? Département or
Département?
is it like
yeah, just imagine like a province or like a state in the US, that sort of level.
Okay. So yeah, he's looking at that sign. That's what helped a lot of us with Lyon not too far away and some road numbers. But jumping back to the unofficial coverage to figure out exactly where he might be.
Just a bit west of those little dirt roads to the north and south. So I think he's not quite in the right spot yet.
It's a little bit tricky. Unofficial coverage and the roads a little bit weird. He's got to find...
Looks better now.
Especially without names. Yeah, that looks a little bit better.
Yeah. The main problem there is also always that with unofficial coverage, you're even less sure that the location is actually put in the right place with the coordinates and everything. So yeah, always. But yeah, in France, especially with it having Réunion, so you've got a lot more leeway for pinpointing. You're a bit more secure there.
Yeah, so he does get that 5K, but by far taking the most time so far, 2 minutes 13 seconds for even the Frenchman Tal Impala there. You Calamity got 5K, 3 minutes 57. Mr. Blue 5K, but using 4 minutes 29. M the Basement 5K with 4 minutes 45. And here is where M. Wickholm drops points, 4,987, taking the whole 5 minutes. So a little bit tricky, especially because unofficial coverage in some small dirt roads, you're not really ever sure if it's on the map or not. But
it's also very much like sort of in a middle of nowhere location, very close to big cities in Lyon and Saint Etienne, but just very, very much so in the middle of nowhere between them.
Indeed. Okay, so into round number 4, and we have Mr. Blue for you. Oops, I didn't mute him. There we go. One of the few people who provides commentary for his videos, so if you want to check out what he has to say, head over to his channel and watch it there. You don't have to listen to us all the time. But our first real urban location. Yeah, please do. But yeah. So.
Yeah, we've had a lot of rural locations so far, so this is a nice change of pace.
But France doesn't always like to put town names on things, so
absolutely not.
That can be its own challenge.
And even if they do, sometimes it can be difficult to recognize something as a town name if you don't know the town, because it's just very it blends in. Like here it says actually below Toute Direction, it says Mézières, which is part of the town name. But if you don't recognize that, it doesn't help you at all because it just looks like a random sign that points to something.
Yeah. If you don't speak French, that's just like the square, or it's the center of town, or the neighborhood name or something. But
and even if you do, it could still be something like, I don't know, just a random building that has that name. Maybe a museum, maybe like a train station or whatever.
Yeah. So it's definitely where home field advantage comes into play.
Also,
already a minute and a half into the round. Mr. Blue yet to open the map, heading back the way he came.
Yeah, it also looks like a relatively big city, though. So once you do find the name of it, you should be possible to find it on the map without too much issue.
And this sign that Mr. Blue has should give him a pretty good clue. We're very close to the Belgian border with Liège, Reims. Is Reims? No, Reims is in France. Okay, I was like, which one? I know Liège is.
Oh, Reims, yeah. Reims is in French. So is Sedan and Metz.
Yeah.
And it's actually quite...
not in Belgium. This is a France map. He has to remind himself of that, but there we go. And there's Sedan. So yeah, well, it's a very good sign actually. It tells you very good area.
It tells you which city is in every direction pretty much.
Yeah. So it kind of helps you triangulate your location. Now he'll jump back to the start to see if he can't find a road name, which he will be able to. Can't pinpoint that on the map.
Yeah.
Almost 3 minutes already gone though. This is going to be another longer round for sure.
What helped me massively there was that, like, just to the east of you are the train tracks, so you can use that to find the actual location pretty quickly, which he has found pretty quickly.
There you go. And 5K only being a meter away. Very nice for Mr. Blue, but using 3 minutes and 2 seconds off the clock. Calamity, you got 5K as well, as you can actually see on the screen, but 4 minutes and 1 second, so another minute onto that. And the baseman dropped points here, so he's out of the running for those bonus points, 4,994, using the full 5 minutes. He must have just been a little bit too far away in the right town, though. M. Wickholm returning back to the ace with 5K himself, 4 minutes 59, just a second short of the full time. And then, of course, Talampala 5K, 1 minute 8 seconds. Probably familiar with the location in general, at least. So, yeah, people have said that the architecture of France is pretty unique for certain regions. So that might have given him some clues. Oh, I'm in northern France. I'm over here. So that could have helped a little bit out as well.
Yeah, generally, just looking back at the location, a lot of the buildings were made out of kind of either like reddish or brownish bricks, which, as Tolimpala told me, is relatively typical for the geology of like northeastern France.
Yeah, so good example of that right there. Well, we saved the best for last. Well, at least we saved you for last, Calamity. As we get into round number 5. You are on a perfect score, and this location couldn't be more obvious. At least where we are. The pinpointing will be a little bit of work, but
yeah, that
obvious.
That helping out a lot as well with the N2. Not really, not really a road number you'd find in mainland France.
Indeed, and 2 city names in opposite directions gives us a pretty good location. If you zoom out, you're going to notice that you're going to come upon a bridge right here again. So, as always, bridge is great for pinpointing.
Definitely. Well, only really great for pinpointing if you start on it, but they're very good for finding the sort of general area where you have to do the pinpointing.
I guess that's
so. Like
true.
one step earlier.
Yeah, they're very obvious landmarks that you can use to say, oh, I'm left of this or I'm right of that or something. So, and a village name as well.
Yeah, at this point, I'm pretty sure I was still looking at where the hell Saint-Benoît is. That I found early on that sign, which I still don't know. Actually, yeah, I just found the sign for Langevin, I assume.
But that was the same for me. Like, I didn't find the other city. Right, I found Saint Joseph, but I could not find the other city, and so I was like, "Where in the world are we?" I did waste some time on that as well.
I see. It's quite. I just looked it up. It's quite far on the sort of northeastern side, and it actually says Arrondissement Saint-Benoît on the map instead of just Saint-Benoît. So that might be another factor why it might be difficult to recognize it as the right name immediately.
And one thing that will help us here is right by the spawn, there is a point of interest on the map. So that will give us quite a bit to use. Always helps to have stores and mansions that have names located right next to you. Calamity, though, doing his due diligence, not wanting to lose that 25k bonus possibility.
Yeah, at this point, I kind of forgot that we've got so much leeway. So I try to be as accurate as possible with the pinpointing.
And you will get that 5k in 2.5 minutes. Everybody else, though, also picking up that 5k. Mr. Blue, 2 minutes 38 seconds. M the Baseman, 3 minutes 53. M Wickholm, 3 minutes 16. And Tom Impala, again, setting the record, 1 minute 18 seconds for him. So yeah, congrats to all the competitors. Lots of 5Ks. I don't know if we actually have the exact number. I think like 9 or 10.
For what? Oh, you mean people who got 25k?
Yeah, on the seed in general.
There were 9.
Yeah, 9. So 9 people were separated by time and distance away from total distance away from the spawn locations for that bonus points. Yeah, so very, very tough competition, but maybe a bit of an easier map given how far away Corsica and Réunion are from mainland France. So those pinpointing a little bit more generous there.
Not necessarily just an easier map, but also an easier seed as well. With, as you said, like one location on Corsica and one on Réunion, which are generally just a lot easier to get right than somewhere in rural France.
Yeah, true. Well, very nice. Well, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed our coverage of Formula G. If you do, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of the videos. Every week, we do a wrap-up show where we cover how the week went for all the competitors and look at the standings and points, as well as bring you coverage of their actual play. So we'll see you all then. Take care.
Bye.